Why is this so confusing? 1.5, like why you do that? God, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I hate this. Whether your suspension is stock, I mean, you just want all your wheels pointing in the same direction, or you just installed some new race car parts and you want maximum grip on track, well, a good alignment is key. You want your car to behave predictably, and the millimeter by millimeter adjustments you make in an alignment can make all the difference. And that's why alignment professionals are never in short supply. But I think that we could get a pretty good track alignment with some DIY alignment tools that I just so happen to have laying around. But the question is a $300 alignment from a pro worth all that money, or can I get the same results doing it myself in the driveway? Should I DIY? Hey, come on. Or should I don't?
Do it. Don't do it.
I like cars, you like cars, we like cars. So celebrate your love of cars with the new Joy of Cars t-shirt. You get it in an owl natural. Also, vintage black. You get it for the low, low price of $29.98 only at donut.media.com. Check it out. It's my favorite shirt to date.
Normally on this show, I would do half the car and then the pro would do the other half. But on an alignment, that doesn't really work. So here's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna go through on the Miata, do my DIY alignment, confirm my specs, and then I'm gonna hand the car over to Tanner, our pro, and he is gonna hook his professional gear up to the car and see whether or not I was doing what I thought I was doing.
Hello.
So in addition to aligning the Miata, we're gonna take a crack at a DIY corner balancing with these big boy scales. I found 700-pound capacity, 90 bucks a piece. Goodbye. So I bought 4 of them, and we're gonna drive the Miata onto them and see if we can corner balance the thing using these bathroom scales. We'll see how accurate they are, especially when compared to the Pro's $1,000. Hello. These also talk, which is really nice, and I don't think the Pro's scales talk.
It's ready.
Though they might be more accurate. We're gonna find out. We've got toe plates here. These I paid about $200 for off the old internet. I've used these, I've had these for a while. Used them on an episode of Money Pit where we aligned the Miata. These toe plates allow us to measure toe, caster, and camber and do an at-home alignment. This is what we're gonna be using. Same tools we had before and the same DIY stands that I made that also serve as turn plates. These cost me probably about $20 or $30 in materials and probably an hour or 2 of my time. So altogether, we do have about $600 worth of stuff here, which isn't too cheap, but if I can do a perfect alignment and corner balancing on my own, then heck, I could start charging my friends. That's a business plan. We're not gonna get too into the weeds with the actual alignment adjustments. If you do wanna learn more about that, go check out that episode of Money Pit. It's a real rabbit hole. We've got our pro here. This is Tanner from OC Mobile Alignments, and he has been on the channel a few times. We had him on high-low. You aligned Jeremiah's sweet Camaro.
Yep. I'm very excited.
Hell yeah. You think I'm gonna be able to do a decent alignment?
Well, these are kind of funny, but the toe plates is good stuff. Toe plates are good for everything. We should be able to get pretty close with that.
I hope it just doesn't take too much effort. Well, what the hell? What a stupid son of a b****. You know what time it is. I'm gonna go ahead and check caster first. I need to go remember the specifics of how to do that. And then I'm gonna swing 40 degrees back to the right, and then I'm gonna take a measurement. Ah, right. This guy knows what he's talking about. Turn left, and I'm gonna tell you when to stop. There's 10, there's 15. One more, right there, stop. We're gonna go ahead and zero our gauge off the wheel. Probably the biggest room for error is like, I'm responsible for holding this thing up to the wheel, and I might not do that so good. So there's no way I'm gonna be as precise as a pro can be with their tools because they don't have to like just hold them. Okay, so now we're zeroed. All right, so back to the right. So there's 0, 15, okay, stop. Now we'll take a measurement from here. We get 4.3, which I find to be a little bit unbelievable. I don't think we can get 8.6 degrees of caster on this car.
I don't know, man.
Me neither, and this is how I measured this before and got regular results. What am I doing wrong? Am I forgetting something? Probably my fault. I'm gonna get under there with my wrenches, do a little turning. And when I make a turn, it's just moving the suspension. Hopefully I'll be close. Hopefully it'll be better than ballpark. Hopefully we'll be like in the right like seating section, you know what I mean? It's a much higher number than I was getting last time we did this, which is strange.
I would basically just max your camber out, max. If we push camber out, your caster's gonna go down.
The problem with alignment specs, they're all kind of intertwined. They all kind of affect each other. So it's just sort of finding the happy medium between all these things, which is time consuming because then you got to take the measurement each time. So I'm gonna say camber is good there. That's our target, 2.1 all around. I'm trying to be precise, but like you can see that says 2.15 right now. I'm not gonna chase 2.10 because if I move this around, I can make it say 2.10. So I'm gonna lock that down and do the same thing to the other side. Dude, this takes me forever by myself. You want me to bump it while you hold it? Be my guest. Slap it just slightly, just gentle slap, you know?
That was the babiest of slaps.
One more baby slap. All right, so in terms of our toe measurement and adjustment, last time we used a string box. It's a really old school trick that even some F1 teams, I believe, still use. And that turned out great, but we're not gonna do that today. It's more time consuming, it's a little more tedious. All I need to do is check toe across each axle, and these make that really easy. You basically hold these up to the wheel, and then you run a tape measure across the front and across the back to the other side where the other toe plate's at, and you take those two measurements. If those measurements are identical on both tape measures, then you know you've got no toe, because the distance between the front of each wheel and tire and the rear of each wheel and tire is the same. If that front distance is shorter, rear distance is bigger, that means they're toed in, and vice versa.
What you reading over there, doctor?
I'm reading some mad toe in.
Just extend both those we'll remeasure.
Okay, let's see where we're at with that. I mean, we are so far out. I can't believe it. Why is this so confusing? God, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but it seems to be something. Can I tag the pro in? Can I tap out? When do I get to say enough is enough, man? So we need to add a little camber back into this side, take a little out of that side. See what that does.
You're at 2.8.
2.8? What in the You know, what's really nice about Pro Tools is that you can make adjustments with the tool on the tire and look at them as you make them, so you don't have to keep doing this whole back and forth rigmarole. 2.5 degrees of camber.
Degrees, Jesus cow.
Jesus cow. 1.5, like why you do that? Why are you doing that to me? Hell yeah, dude. Sure. 420. You stupid son of a bitch. Is that true?
I hate this.
Yeah, Tanner, are you having a good time?
Yeah, this brings back memories.
3.6. Okay, so the sides are matched or close enough. Wait a minute, does that mean we're done? I'm done?
So, yeah.
DIY done? And this was the abbreviated version for sure, and it still took us 2 hours, 20 minutes, 48 seconds of fun. Now I'm very interested to see how close any of these measurements have been, because the underlying issue with the DIY way is that every step of the way I'm just questioning my measurements and my judgment and my tools. Let's hand this thing over to Tanner, see what he wants to do. I suppose since he's been helpful to me, I'll be helpful to him.
This is our guy Tanner, not a man of many words.
Fucking Miatas.
So let's explain what he's doing in layman's terms. He's got lasers strapped to hangers that lock to the wheels tight, and the lasers point at targets so you know it's precise. That little box that he's got, oh, it's really something. He can switch up the function with just the push of a button, and when he makes his adjustments, you're gonna say, wow, that was really fast, man. Jesus cow.
It's become pretty apparent to me that our DIY tools aren't the most accurate when it comes to measuring this stuff, which is kind of important when it comes to an alignment. Did I get any measurements right? Are we screwed?
So basically the first thing I fixed was camber, and as soon as I changed camber, I had to correct toe anyways.
What do you think my undoing was? Not having a level ground like you have?
I think that was probably most of it, was probably the floor, yeah.
These kind of allow him to create a level floor where there isn't one. So that takes away a lot of the guesswork that I was dealing with. Jesus. So is that an alignment done? Now we just got to do corner balancing?
Yeah, you want to put the
All right,
weights?
let's see. 58 minutes, 12 seconds it took you to do an actually accurate alignment with leveling the ground, setting up, and everything. That's not too bad. Definitely way better than mine. But we're gonna do another thing today. We're gonna try to corner balance the car. Well, when I say try, I'm gonna try, but you are definitely gonna be able to do it. Since we've got the car set up on your scales, I think we should corner balance it with your stuff so that it's actually accurate.
Yeah, let's jack it up and with this.
Let's do.
So these are Proforms, like Bluetooth, blah, blah, blah. So there's 4 scales and then 1 little computer. We got each corner of the car, weight and a percentage. So this is 600 pounds. It's actually 25.5% of the whole weight.
Okay, and that's the front left,
So
as
that's like
denoted by the FL.
The biggest thing is you just want these two and those two to equal the same thing. But basically just to make it like symmetrical, you want to get the crosses even.
Okay. So we took the wheel off. Why? How do you actually make changes to the balance of the car?
Think of it as like a chair. So if you have 4 posts that have no springs, if you have a short corner, how much weight's on that corner?
None. Yeah, if you had one longer leg,
Yeah.
it would like take all your weight.
And then obviously there's like a tipping point.
Sure, and so we want to add weight to this corner, so we're going to jack it up.
Yes, that is the theory. Let's put the wheel back on and see what it weighs.
Just try to get her settled.
Yeah. So we are a percent closer. Pretty much right there. Plus it's cool to leave this side a hair light just because you're gonna sit in it, yeah.
Well, that was quick. You only had to really mess with one corner. Now, is that usual? Do you usually find yourself doing a lot more tweaking?
As long as they have the preload square and their heights where they want them, this is pretty much how it goes.
I feel like that was way easier than what I'm gonna do. So now we're gonna bust out our Amazon scales, drive onto them, see if we can get that to work, and then if they don't break immediately, we'll be able to see if they actually kind of weigh this thing like we would want them to corner balance. Since each scale maxes at 700 pounds, we're gonna try to drive onto all 4 scales at the same time, just so they all load up at the same time and none of them ever see more than 700 pounds. If we did have to make adjustments with these scales, we'd have to drive off of them, jack the car up, make adjustments, then put the car down, then drive back on them probably a bunch of times. So that would suck.
Sick.
Why?
That thing sounds good.
Well, you gotta give her a second.
That one's on stone, this is pounds.
Is it really?
Yeah, they just all shut off right now.
This would suck so bad if I was by myself.
Oh, yes.
Hey, we're getting some. Right there.
Oh, you're on the screen. The screen up, you head.
It's looking bent in the middle.
That was exciting at least.
Well, let's back off and try to turn them on again, see what happens. Push me, push me.
Ah, it didn't save the weight.
Oh my God.
Hey, stop. God damn. All right, you're good, you're good. Oh, dude.
Wait for me to get out, wait for me to get out.
Let it
Wait for
settle,
me to
let
get
it
out.
settle, let it settle.
Went to stone.
I got
Stop, let it
562.
That's pretty close, dude.
But it's hilarious. The reason it's switching to stone is because it's bending and hitting its own button on the floor.
Oh, what?
Well, this was a success. No, I would hate to do this. While the scales seem to work and return a number that is similar to what we got on Tanner scales, this would be miserable, an absolute nightmare to use these to actually balance your car. Please get off me. What if I started saying some shit?
Goodbye.
Okay, so let's talk about some things. First, let's talk about cost. Well, I spent about $200, which is less than Tanner would charge me to do an alignment on the car. He said it'd be about $300 just for the alignment. So it's easy to think that the cost savings isn't too bad, since then you have the tool and you get to keep using it. But the real problem comes with the accuracy of what we were doing here today. It turned out it wasn't very accurate. If I were a little more meticulous and maybe built some nice leveling plates, we could probably have gotten a better result, but the value isn't there to me because we weren't getting accurate numbers. Doing a DIY alignment is way more effort than paying somebody to do it, and that's pretty obvious. The amount of like back and forth, up and down, checking, twisting, turning, it's just too painful to do it DIY style, in my opinion. It's terrible. All of a sudden you're accepting bad measurements. You're like, man, that's probably good because I've done this 20 times and I just don't want to do it anymore. time and effort are kind of intertwined. The more effort you put in, usually the more time you end up taking, and that is definitely the case with a DIY alignment. Today, we did it pretty quickly, and it was still about 2.5 hours. But if you were doing this from scratch on your own at home, it took me like 6 hours the first time I did it, and it probably wasn't accurate. So time is a loss. Across the board, I'm calling this a loss. I would say that paying a pro to give you an alignment and making sure that you know that you are aligned like you want to be is totally worth it. Breaks my dang heart right in there. I love DIY and stuff, and even though it is a pain in the ass, it would be nice if it worked, and it just didn't. Sucks, but well, it doesn't suck. You know what? That's why these pros exist. That's why they spend the money on tools, and that's why they start businesses, because it's a service that you just can't really replicate in your garage. Unfortunately, that's what we found to be true today. Well, that's gonna do it for this episode of DIY or Don't. I thank you guys for watching it. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a thing or two. I definitely did. Want to say a big thanks to Tanner at OC Mobile Alignment. You can follow him on Instagram at OC Mobile Alignment. You can follow me on Instagram at Zach Jobe. Follow Donut at donut.media. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next week. Peace!
Jesus God.